Once again, good evening and welcome to BizTalk. My name is Wally Rowder. I'm an Australian with some 38 years experience, and whether it's management or leadership at senior executive positions such as vice president, executive vice president with companies, including shipping companies and banks and financial institutions. I've also been an academic lecturer for at least 30 years or a visitor at universities, lecturing part-time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BizTalk. Today's subject is people-centric leadership. What is people-centric leadership? We all know leadership in its current form, and there is a big difference between people-centric leadership and leadership. For those of you who work, you probably know leadership as a manager who basically treats people and they run away, or leaders who pull people and they come closer and they produce better. So managers have a habit of pushing people away and not getting results, where leaders have a habit of pulling people in and getting them to produce results. We're going to talk about different forms of leadership, but more specifically, what does business and the economy require today in order for you to become a successful leader? That means people-centric leadership. Let's go to the first PowerPoint. Leadership is all about getting things done, not ourselves, but through others. So if you have to do everything yourself, that's not leadership. For example, if you own a business and you come in every morning, switch on the lights, print out customer orders from your online shop and pack them yourself, that is not leadership. You're a one-man show. Leadership, in its pure definition, is about getting things done through others. It is all about embracing new practices that focus on bringing greater humanity in the way we lead people, manage and grow employees. That is the background behind the theory of people-centric leadership. Leadership has been around for years. Unfortunately, a lot of people now lead the same as managers pull, and that's wrong. Leadership today, for it to be successful, is all about embracing new practices. These practices have to be focused on bringing greater humanity in the way we do things, human elements, human touches, the way we lead people, manage and grow the people we lead, which are commonly known as our employees. What is human-centric leadership? Ladies and gentlemen, human-centric leadership starts with a basic understanding that each employee's feeling, needs, and goals. You need to understand each and every employee that you have. You need to understand their feelings, their needs, and their goals. If you don't even understand the people who work for you, you're never going to be successful, because if you don't understand them, it means they don't understand you and they don't understand the company's goals. Therefore, the company will never reach peak productivity because the people who work for it don't have any goals, and you don't understand what the goals of the company are and how to communicate with them, with the people who work for you. By focusing on the person or the people that work for you instead of the tasks to be done, the manager, so-called manager, is demonstrating empathy and desire to create a real win-win situation. So, what is the difference between a manager who pushes and a manager who pulls? It's understanding the people. If you don't understand the people, their feelings, needs, and goals they need to motivate them to be productive, then you are not a leader and you are by far not a manager. Okay, let's look at this again. What is a people-centric leader? Forgive me. A people-centric leader, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody that says can. That means you never say no, talk to your manager, or maybe. A people-centric leader always can. He will always say yes, I can, or yes, we'll fix it, or yes, we'll arrange something. A people-centric leader has the can, the verb to do, can, the ability to do something, the need to do something, the want to do something, can do something, understanding. He always thinks we can, I can, they can, our company can. He or she understands that they must stay in tune with the people who work for them. They must understand the people who work for them, how they feel, what their expectations are, what their goals are for them and their families, and how about the goals of the company. If they understand the company's goals, then they should be able to tell us their goals and how the company's goals affect them. Because if you understand your employees and the employees understand you, you will be able to create value for the company. Because if the employees don't understand the company and the company's goals, how can they make it successful? And the reason why employees don't understand the company and its goals is because the company has never made an attempt to understand the employees, their families, and their goals. A people-centric leader continually invests in the development of the people that work for him, and he or she works to make sure that the interests of the people and the interests of the organization are aligned. That means that the people who work for us understand our company's goals and are thinking the same way. People-centric leaders understand the importance of good managers, because as a leader, you might have 10 assistant leaders, which are called managers, reporting to you. So if you want to be a good leader, you must also make sure that the managers below you are good managers who are also people-centric orientated. Because if only you are people-centric and your managers are not, the word of people centricity will be diluted like water flushed down a toilet. Let's talk to some of you and see if you understand what I mean so far. Let's stop sharing and let me talk to some of you. Who have I got here? Let me talk to, who wants to talk to me? Let me find someone. Hi, Vincent. Vincent Nyamafalia, how are you? Can you open your microphone? Do you understand what I've explained so far? Hi, are you there? I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Masadita, can you hear me? Masadita, can you unmute your microphone? Hello, Masadita, can you hear me? Hi. Would you like to talk to me? Unmute your microphone. Hello, how are you?
Yes,
I can't hear you. Can you speak up? Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Philippines.
Good. Do you understand what I mean by leadership?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I mean by leadership? Great, thank you. All right, let me go to someone else. Let me talk to Nurilla. Hello, Nurilla. Can you unmute your microphone, please? Hi, Nurilla.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Sir, I'm okay. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Nurilla.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean by leadership?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Do you understand what I mean by people centricity? Or do you understand the basic concept so far?
Yes.
Great, excellent.
I
I'll
have
talk
to
to you again shortly.
understand. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Rosita McCarthy. Hi, Rosita. Do you understand what I'm talking about, Rosita? Can you unmute your microphone, Rosita? Hi,
Hello.
Rosita. How are you? Do you understand what I mean by leadership?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand the difference between everyday leadership and people-centric leadership so far?
I was a little bit late, but I think I can understand from what I have.
Okay, as I go through tonight, you'll get to understand more about the difference, but as
Sure.
long as you understand the basics. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me go back to the presentation. So let me refresh that a people-centric is about the simple philosophy of people-centric leadership starts with understanding each employee's feelings and needs and understanding how employees feel about the company, understanding how the employees see their goals within the company and how they relate with the company's goals. Because by focusing first on the person or the people instead of the task, then basically you will be a win-win situation because you will ensure that they understand your expectations rather than the task where they do the task but don't understand how important the task is. So if they understand your goals and you understand them, then fact has it that they will be better motivated or better prepared or better capable of achieving that task. So we focus on the task, on the people, rather than the task. Focus on the people first, and then the task will happen. If you focus on the task and not the people, then most likely the task will never happen because the people don't understand it or they don't see the importance of that task. Okay, we've covered this. Let's go to the next part. What makes an organization people-centric? A people-centric organization is one that actually specifically develops its management strategies based on the type of people it employs, the qualifications, and the individuals that work for it. This is critical because if you're people-centric, everything you do must take into account your people. Unlike many organizations around the world that have failed and gone out of business because they focused on the task and ignored their people. But what happened is they didn't understand the people and the people didn't understand the company's goals. Therefore, those companies are now out of business. Alitalia, who folded in bankruptcy, some of the biggest companies in the world, Pan Am, who failed many years ago, General Electric. General Electric was one of America's most successful manufacturing icons. However, some time ago, GE changed its CEO. And when it changed its CEO, he failed to understand the people. He was very much task focused on getting profit and task completed. He forgot the real drivers, the people. And the company GE almost went bankrupt. One of America's largest manufacturing icons nearly gave out of business, came out of business, closed its doors, went bankrupt. It shut its doors because the danger that this new CEO put General Electric in. He did it simply by ignoring the leadership model that was there before. He tossed it out the window and decided to become very much task orientated. He did not care. He did not ask. He did not look at the people. It went from a people-centric organization to a task-centric organization. However, the company was saved before he destroyed it because it was, and still is an American manufacturing icon. Luckily for GE, things changed and the company was saved. So today, people-centric organizations can only happen when management strategies are based on the people who work for the organization rather than the task or the figures that the organization want to achieve. So first we look at our people, then we set our strategies, and we set the goals for each task. A people-centric organization has to be honest and open. That means they have to have regular conversations with their employees and their people. And this can be done by either the owner, the executive management, or most commonly, somebody from HR, human resources. If a company is focused on achieving goals based on the strengths and or weaknesses of the people they employ, that means understanding what they have and don't have in people, then creating actionable outcomes will be very much easier, because those actionable outcomes will take into consideration the ability that the people have to achieve the goals that the company lays down in its strategy. Getting the best out of people is a core requirement of a people-centric organization. Getting the best out of every person, irrespective of their circumstances. So we do not say that Maria in packing is 70 years old and it's okay if she doesn't perform, she's retiring next year. That is not a customer people-centric organization tailored management strategy. If we understand Maria's goals, that she would like to keep working because she needs the money, and we understand what jobs she can or can't do comfortably, then we're able to move her to tasks where she'd be more valuable to the organization with higher productivity. The fact that Maria's 70 years old could be the reason why she has slowed down and not as productive as her young colleagues. So all of this is part of people-centric, people-centricity, organizations who put their people first, the task second, and the revenue comes as a result. Let's look at a typical organization structure which is common in today's world. A typical organization has a mission, vision, and values. After that, their first element of concern is revenue and profit, then customers, and then employees. So, traditional organization focuses on task, revenue, profit, and customers, and lastly, employees. Let's look at that. Most likely, a typical organization, a typical structure like this would usually practice leadership or management, but there's a difference because this is not a people-centric organizational structure. Let's look at the famous saying that most of you have heard, push versus pull. Push leadership will push people right out the door. We need leaders who inspire others to follow the agenda and loyalty. What is the agenda? Company goals, company mission, company vision. But people can only do that when the company strategies are based on people and not task. So if your strategies are based on people and you understand your people and you communicate your goals to your people and then make sure they understand them, then you'll be successful. However, if you just push the tasks to the employees without actually having communicated the goals or the reasons for having to achieve these tasks, then what you'll do eventually is push those employees out the door. So in the traditional model, the push is very common. And it's only when the company starts bleeding or losing money do they decide to start looking at becoming people-centric. People-centric leaders practice the pull leadership mechanism. That means they do it using principles that many people in official leadership positions wouldn't follow if their lives depended on it. So, for example, an army colonel wouldn't care about people-centric leadership. For him, the soldiers have to fight the war even if they die. However, in an organization or in a corporation, you can't do that. Because if you as the CEO or as a founder do not practice people centricity, then all the people below you will become push leaders. And eventually you'll lose all the money you invested. You will have no one working for you. Let's look at a people organizational structure. A people organizational structure, a people-centric organizational structure. And what does that mean? It means that the very base is now the mission, the vision and values and purpose of the company communicated with workers. So what I'm saying here is, this becomes the most important part. The mission, the vision, the values and the purpose of the company first. Second becomes alignment, where you communicate that through to your managers or management team, and they all understand it and agree with it. Then it will go down to the next most important level, which is your employees. Your employees have to understand what the goals are and why they should achieve those goals. If they understand those goals, then delivering the positive customer experience by doing the task better than normal will happen. And as a result of that, you will make revenue and profits. So if you focus on people, not the task, the people will make it happen. But if you focus on the task as they did in the previous original model, then your employees will run away, your profitability and revenue will suffer. Does everybody understand what I just said? Everybody understand that? Great. We'll take just a 1 minute brief break. I need to blow my nose. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Sorry about that. Forgive me. I've got a runny nose, so I do have to blow my nose. Forgive me. I'm very much apologetic. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so as I said, a people-centric organizational structure is different from the traditional organizational structure, because with the traditional structure, we said mission, vision, values, revenue, profits, customers, employees last. They're the least important in the structure. However, when we go to a people-centric organizational structure, you've got the mission, vision, values, and purpose. Remember, purpose. In the previous mechanism, in the previous one, there was no purpose. It was just vision and values. But the purpose, why should we be doing this, was not something communicated or understood. Alignment. There has to be alignment throughout the whole structure, throughout the whole company. Employee experience. It means that the employees understand the company and the company understands them. Customer experience. Customer experience will happen because the employees understand the company and are working to achieve the goals and the vision that the company has made them understand, which they understand because the company understands them. And in return, the company will reap profits and revenue as a result. So being a people-centric organization means having the ability to build trust and create a psychologically safe workplace for everyone, ability to recognize and align the purpose and the people. So you have to recognize what skills your people have, what are their abilities, and align them with the company's strategy so that whatever strategy or product you want to sell or produce, you make sure that the people that work for you have the ability and understand the goals and the purpose of achieving. You have to have the ability to grow and develop people, because if you can't mentor, coach, train, develop, and inspire the people or the employees, you will soon be out of business. You have to have the ability to empathize and take action accordingly. Let's stop this and talk to someone. Does everybody understand what I mean by a traditional organization and a people-centric organization? Rosita, did you see the difference? Do you understand the difference, Rosita? Can you unmute your microphone? Hi, Rosita.
Yes, sir.
Do you
Hi.
understand the difference between a traditional organization and a people-centric organization?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Good on you. Thank you. Can you give me an example, Rosita, of a company that you know of today that practices people-centric leadership? Any company?
Well, one I could give us an example where I used to work before in a care home setting.
All right.
Our manager looks after us and talks to us every day
And
and makes sure.
do you think that manager practices the people centricity elements that I've just mentioned?
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Rosita. Can you go on? Would you like to explain to everybody what else this manager does so they understand?
Well, basically, she or he will just talk to us and ask us if we are comfortable, if we are safe, if we have any problems. And yeah, regularly they will ask us and talk to us.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. So the manager is concerned about understanding you, your feelings and your emotions, and they're concerned about understanding your perception of the company's goals and you achieving them. Is that correct, Rosita?
Yes.
Thank you, Rosita. Okay, let me go to someone else. I've got Kayo. So, hello, Kayo. Would you like to talk to me? Can you unmute your microphone, sir? Are you there, Kayo? Yes or no? Can you unmute your microphone, sir? No? Okay, I can't hear you. You're still muted. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll come back to you. Sorry about that. Okay, next one. Let me go to someone else. Let me talk to a gentleman who's sitting here smiling at me. Henry Levy Anyom. My dear Henry, good afternoon, sir. Can you unmute your microphone, Henry, and share some of your wisdom? Are you there, Henry? Hi, Henry. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine,
Welcome
sir.
to BizTalk, sir. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Henry, can you share some experiences about a company around the world that you think is people-centric leadership? Can you give me a name of a company?
Okay, I can mention like Toyota companies, Toyota manufacturing companies.
Right? And why do you think they're people-centric? Why do you think their leadership is people-centric leadership? Could you tell us?
Yeah, because the reason why the people-centric are most important in some companies is because of the leadership. They always stay abreast of the employees. You understand? And also cares about creating the most interest of value for those that create or makes things happen within the company, within the institutions.
Great. So basically what they do is they understand their employees, and their employees are part of their corporate strategy. So by understanding their employees and the type of employees they have, they are able to build their strategy on that, and they're able to understand what their employees' needs are. Would you agree with me?
Yes, sir, I agree.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Henry. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me go on and go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, let's go on and let's go back to where we were. Just one moment, please. So let me repeat. So what we've said is, in order for you to have a people-centric leadership or an organization practicing people-centricity in leadership, the core values are the ability to build trust and create psychologically safe workspace, ability to recognize and align meaning and purpose between people and organization, an ability to grow and develop the people you have through coaching and mentoring. And you can only do that if you understand your people, and the ability to empathize and take action accordingly. And in order for you to empathize, you need to understand your people. So it goes all the way back to our basic definition, and it says it's all about embracing new practices focused on bringing greater humanity, means human touch in the way we lead. It talks about by focusing first on the person, the people, instead of the task. So let me just summarize here before we move on. Push leadership will push people right out the door, and organizations that practice push leadership have a higher rate of staff turnover. For example, I lived in Dubai many years ago for a very short time, and hospitals in Dubai have a very high turnover rate of nurses and doctors because the locals either don't want to work, or very few of them actually want to work in their own countries. So for the locals, they go overseas and study medicine on a government scholarship, but many of them don't come back. So most of the doctors in that part of the world are foreigners. And what happens, because the local hospital management treats them like garbage and does not apply people centricity, the retention rate for foreign doctors and nurses is very low. I used to go to a private hospital in Dubai and see a specialist at one point. I went in there on Monday. He told me to come back the following Monday. When I went back, they told me he already resigned. And if I wanted to see a specialist, I would have to wait till another one started work and they would call me. And that is because they have a mentality of push leadership rather than pull leadership. Let's take an example. Let's take an example of somebody like Amazon. What do you think Amazon uses? Push leadership or pull-centric leaders? Who can tell me? What does Amazon use? Can you wave your hands if you know? Who knows? What does Amazon use? Okay, let's talk to Prince Maltea. Prince Maltea, can you open your microphone? Are you there, Prince? Hi, Prince.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Good morning.
What philosophy do you think Amazon uses? Push or pull?
I think they use pull.
Absolutely.
Leadership.
Absolutely. Can you give me an example of why you think they use pull? Give me one example, please.
One of the reasons why Amazon is actually doing very great in e-commerce is because it tries to engage with customers. And by saying so, I think sometimes they use, what are these? Like they've involved not a monotype of communication, but a dialogue type of communication where they are also involving like the technology in their delivery.
Okay, let me just go back to that. Thank you very much. You've answered some of the questions. One of the main reasons that Amazon is so famous for its people-centric leadership is because of Joe Bezos, its founder. He came in wanting to be the world's largest e-commerce platform, and he did it because he said, just like Steve Jobs said, when I employ professionals to run my business and do the business, do not teach them how to do the job. Let them show me how to run the business. Let me understand them. Let them understand what my goals are, but let them implement them. So he uses the same philosophies that I've just said here. Understanding your people, making sure that your people are taken into consideration when you develop company strategy. And that's what Bezos has done. That's what Steve Jobs did to Apple many years ago before he died. That's why Apple was very successful with Steve Jobs. Apple, whether you like it or not, has gone from a ripe green apple to a yellow apple now because their success has been downgraded since Steve Jobs passed away. Steve Jobs always said, do not employ someone if you have to teach them how to do the job. Employ someone who knows how to do the job and then provide them the motivation and training so they do it the way you want them to do it. But don't teach them that. let them figure out what they want and how they want to learn it. That was Apple's success. Shortly after Steve Jobs died and Tim Cook took over, Apple had its first international recall on an Apple phone, which cost them more money than they've ever spent on a recall, thanks to an error that would have only have happened under Tim Cook and never under Steve Jobs. Because someone within the organization was not listening to what the experts were saying before they launched the phone. But they've overcome that now. Hopefully, they will survive. How long will Apple survive for? Who knows? It's only as good as the technology they produce. So companies have to be people-centric. Steve Jobs, Joe Bezos, the man at Facebook, the man at Google, they are people-centric leaders. And their businesses will only be as good as the company, providing they manage or respect the people that work for them. Let's take Alibaba. You all know Alibaba? Wave your hands if you know Alibaba. Wave your hands. Alibaba, the company from China. Great, excellent. We all buy their stuff. Made in China, very cheap. Why spend money with Amazon? I totally agree with you. I shop with them. Okay, so with Alibaba, Alibaba has a typical sale. Let's take a Valentine's Day sale. They opened their system probably 1 week before Valentine's Day. They launched their computers to target millions of customers with advertising. And in a matter of 7 days, Alibaba can generate over 425 million US dollars in sales. All right, why does Alibaba do that? Because the thousands of employees who work for Alibaba around the world, or mainly in China and around China, all understand the Alibaba philosophy. They understand the clear mission and vision of Alibaba to bring quality goods at a low price and get it to the customer as quickly as possible. Because today, if you have a customer like Upendra and he buys a t-shirt, but then has to wait 10 weeks for the t-shirt to arrive, but he has a date with a new girlfriend next week and he needs that black t-shirt to look like a hunk, he's never going to buy from Alibaba again. Am I right, Upendra? So Alibaba is able to understand their people, and their people are able to understand Alibaba's vision. Provide quality product at the lowest price on the quickest turnaround. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? So let's go to Amazon. Upendra, can you tell me what are the differences that you see between Alibaba and Amazon? Would you like to unmute your microphone, Upendra? Are you there, Upendra? Unmute your microphone, please. Hello, Upendra. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I am fine. Thank you, sir.
Upendra, can you tell me what is one of the differences that you know between Alibaba, the cheap e-commerce site in China, compared to Amazon around the world? Give me some basic differences that you see.
As per my opinion, Alibaba is cheaper than Amazon, sir. So, and it's very reliable and it's very fast delivery service, I think so.
All right. So basically what you've said is what I said. Alibaba bases their business on low prices, good quality, fast turnaround. Would you agree with that, Upendra?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Upendra. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you. All right. So we've compared Alibaba and Amazon. Let's go away from that. Let's talk about Jollibee and McDonald's. Who goes to Jollibee? Wave your hand. Anybody here eat Jollibee? All right, I've got one volunteer already. Let's talk to Makala Solero. Good evening, ma'am. How are you tonight? Can you open your microphone?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Makala. Jollibee is run by one of the Philippines' most successful businessmen now. Tell me, why do you think Jollibee is different to McDonald's? And why do you think Jollibee practices people-centric leadership? What do you see in Jollibee that you don't see in McDonald's? Tell me, please.
Jollibee is the Filipino tradition.
I can't hear you, Marcella. Can you put up your microphone? I can't hear a word.
I'm actually using a laptop. I don't. Okay. For me, because Jollibee is one of the Filipino brand, unlike with McDonald's, and even the product, the taste is Filipino taste, unlike with McDonald's.
Right. So basically, with Jollibee, they're able to communicate, or they're able to associate with the local customer. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Anybody else want to comment about Jollibee and McDonald's? Can you wave your hands for me? No one? Okay, good. All right. So let's talk about McDonald's and Jollibee. Let's just weigh up that. McDonald's used to be very much a team-centric or people-centric organization. But unfortunately, during COVID, McDonald's went from being people-centric to survival-centric because it was losing business, because its doors were shut. They couldn't welcome people to its restaurants. So many people say that the quality went down. They went from freshly cooking to cook to order, but because the sales were low, the raw product the meat patties used to stay there, and probably they weren't able to produce or sell as many as they would like to. And probably some people did not get as many hours work or able to earn the income they wanted. So whether McDonald's was still people-centric leadership during COVID-19 is something that we'll find out about probably in a year once COVID-19 is finished. But if we look at other companies like Starbucks and the big brands around the world, they have been very much focused on remaining people-centric in their leadership. If you go to Starbucks, they do not call their staff employees. What do they call them? It starts with P. Does anybody know what they call the team at Starbucks? Cedric, do you know? Can you unmute your microphone, Cedric? It starts with P and it's followed by the letter A. Can you tell me what it is? Are you there, Cedric? Hi, Cedric. I can't hear you, mate. I can't hear you. Your microphone's not working. I can't hear you. I think there's something wrong with your microphone, Cedric. Please get it fixed. I'll come back to you. Okay, so the difference between Starbucks and the rest of the world is Starbucks called the employees, not workers. They call them partners, all right? And by calling them partners, they're trying to make the people who work for them feel like part of the family, part of the business. Do you understand that, Hazel? Hazel, do you understand that? Good, excellent. Okay, so that's an element of people-centric leadership. Instead of calling them workers or employees, they call them partners. Okay, let's go back to our presentation.
Yung, ambit sa akong cellphone, bi, kaya na kuan.
Unmute. Madam, you have microphone.
In order to have a people-centric organization, we need the company to have 4 major functions. And these 4 major functions are basically in reflection to what I just described to you here before. So what are they? 1 is the ability to build trust and create psychologically safe workspace. Ability to build trust, number 1. Number 2, ability to recognize and align meaning and purpose between the people and the organization. Starbucks understand that these people come to work for them to sell coffee, and some of them might think that they're not important. It's a simple poor man's job making coffee. So they changed it from workers, employees to partners, and that gives some sort of psychological motivation to the people who make coffee. At McDonald's, it's a bit different. They don't call them partners, they call them crew, C-R-E-W. Now, crew might not be as motivating for some because it's too common. If they call them McDonald's cooks or Mac people or Macca people or something, maybe, it would give them a special tag, but unfortunately McDonald's haven't come up with that. So the ability to recognize and align the meaning and purpose and create a bond with the people and the organization. It means the workers and the organization. Number 3, an ability to grow and develop the people through coaching and mentoring. And least but not last, the ability to emphasize and take action accordingly. Because if the people understand the company, you understand the people, and they understand the company's goals, then all you need to do is make sure you provide them the right growth opportunity by ongoing coaching, mentoring, by emphasizing how important their role is. And then when they need the support, you need to take action and give it to them. Therefore, stop focusing on the task, focus on the people, and the people will make sure that the task is delivered and the revenue goes up. However, if you focus on the task and ignore your people, the only result is revenue goes down. Organizations with higher people centricity, let's talk about those. Example, Amazon, Starbucks, and some of the other famous companies around the world, Facebook maybe, they have 37% less absenteeism and less employee turnover. They have 48% fewer safety incidents. They have 41% fewer product defects. They have 21% higher productivity and 22% higher profitability. So an organization with people centricity will be able to say that they have a higher profit line. They will always produce or provide results to their shareholders above the break-even point. They will always, based on these figures, be profitable because they put their people first and the outcome or the tasks later. They believe that if they look after their people, the results will come back automatically. But if you focus on the task and forget your people, the results will never be delivered. Let's talk about that. 37% less absenteeism for a company like Amazon with like 30,000 people around the world. If they can reduce the number of absent employees a day or a year by 37% out of 30,000, that is a lot of people. 22% higher profitability is a major factor for Amazon. During COVID-19, Amazon had increased its sales, revenue, and profitability by a lot more than 22%, but that was because of COVID-19. Same with Alibaba and Shopee. However, now that COVID-19 is slowly dying, they need to maintain that. So they will need to put extra effort into practicing people centricity in order to maintain these safety borders, or what we call them safety nets. Less absenteeism, fewer safety incidents, fewer product returns or defects for the e-commerce sites, higher productivity, more orders packed and shipped same day, and higher profitability. These percentages come from Gallup, which is one of the world's most respected data collection agency and survey agencies around the world. Gallup is used by all major companies around the world because their surveys and their analysis is reliable. So these figures are reliable. So it comes back to what we said from the beginning. People-centric leadership is leading with heart and head, helping team members, fostering teamwork, recognizing employees, listening to the employees, and sharing good and bad times together. Because if they understand you and you understand them, the results will happen by themselves. But if they don't understand you and you only understand the numbers, then unfortunately, they will not be motivated to be productive because they don't know what the goals or why they need to be productive. For them, it's not their fault. It's the fault of the company and your leadership style. Because what you're practicing is push rather than pull. Let's talk about an academic principle of leadership. Let's talk about the Ohio State University philosophy, which is now world famous. And this philosophy has 4 different quadrants. Let's start with the one at the very top, where the company and its people are very high in building relationship, but very low on having any task achieved. The one below, a company that is very low on relationship with its staff and customers, and very low on achieving tasks because task is not important to them. Let's go to the other side of the matrix. At the top, we have organizations that are very highly task orientated, but also very high relationship orientated. Okay, and then we have the last mode, very low, high task and very low relationship. So, ladies and gentlemen, should it be high task, high relationship, or should it be high task and low relationship? The first two, high relationship, low task, is possible. But however, if you look at that, that's still on the lower side of the quadrant because the task goes down. If we look at the two on the high side of the quadrant, high task and high relationship, high task and low relationship, who can tell me which one is people-centric, the yellow one or the green one? Let's talk to someone. Where has everybody gone? Roxanne Rotoni Rebellis. Hello, Roxanne. How are you today? Are you there, Roxanne? Can you unmute your microphone? Hello, Roxanne. Yes, how are you? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hi. Which quadrant is more people-centric, the yellow one or the green one?
I think the yellow one.
Why do you think the yellow one is more centric? Can you tell everyone? Why do you think the yellow one is more people-centric? Can you explain it, Roxanne? Are you there?
I think because if someone has greater responsibilities, they are more capable to talk with each other and know what are the
good
things
Excellent.
that they needed.
Good, because the relationship is very important. And when you have good relationship and understand your people, the task will happen automatically. Why? Because the people who work for you understand you and you understand them. So high relationship will bring high outcome of productivity and task. You understand that, Roxanne?
Yes, sir.
Good on you. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State University has proven this through research that companies with a high relationship are actually automatically getting high tasks. Look at Alibaba, look at Amazon. They ship almost 99% of orders where stock is in the warehouse are shipped same day because of the high relationship between their managers, the people in the company or the warehouses who understand why that's important. And as a result of that, they're able to achieve high-level tasks. They're able to achieve higher productivity. So a high relationship will automatically generate high task and high productivity. But if you have high task and low relationship, then that is going to be the push effect. And eventually it will break. Because eventually, as a result of the low relationship with your people, you will have higher turnover, less retention, and you will not be able to deliver high task continuously, and eventually the high task will mean poor quality, poor customer service, and eventually that will affect productivity and also affect sales. All right. Let's look at another academic aspect in leadership. Blake Morton's grid is very straightforward. And right here, we have people that actually fit into different elements of management styles. As you can see on the vertical grid, we have concern for people by the manager, and we have concern for task by the manager. And the one with 9.9 is what we call a people-centric manager, and using people-centric qualities. All right, people-centric qualities. All right, I have a question. Let me answer the question. Gabriel Nahudu, where are you, Gabriel? My co-host, can you open the microphone for Gabriel Nahudu, please? Can you find him and open the microphone, my co-host? Are you there, Gabriel? Okay, Gabriel, would you like to unmute your microphone? How can I help you? Unmute your microphone, Gabriel. You put your hand up. How can I help you? Are you there, Gabriel? Hi, Gabriel. How can I help you? Yeah, go ahead.
I cannot hear you very well.
I'm sorry, would you like to ask me a question?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Would you like to ask me a question? Okay, I think there's something wrong with your microphone, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let me go on. Are you there, Gabriel? Okay, so with Blake Morton's philosophy, as I said, the vertical is concerned for people. The horizontal is concerned for task. Now, the people at the top in green, team management, are concerned very much about their people, and their people produce very high task or productivity. Compared to the one on the opposite side, 1.9, they have very low concern for people and only care about task. Therefore, people is low, task is high, they will fail. If we go down below 1.1, that means they're very low on task, very low on relationship with their people. That business will go bankrupt, guaranteed. We go to the other side, the Japanese way. They're very high on task and very low on people. If you're very high on task and low on people, you will fail. It's the same as the country club. Country club manager is very low on task, very high on people. Okay, but the problem with the country club manager is when he communicates with his people, he doesn't set goals clearly. Therefore, what happens? The task is not understood. So the task is very low. Concern for people is very low. Okay, therefore, the people is very low, the task is high, they fail. If we look at the only one that's successful, is where the concern for people generates high enough productivity, and as a result of being concerned for your people, the people better understand your task and your goals. Because when you're concerned for your people, you understand them. And when you understand them, you make sure that they understand your perceptions or why their job is important. Does everybody follow me and understand the difference between concern for people and concern for task? Very important principles. Organizations should always be either at 5.5 or 9.9. Anything else is not acceptable. For an organization to survive, like McDonald's, they're probably right now at 5.5. Starbucks are at 9.9. So Amazon are always recently 9.9. Alibaba, 9.9. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? Does everybody understand what I mean by 9.9 compared to 5.5? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands if you understand? Everybody wave your hands, please, if you understand. Niraj, do you understand? Niraj? Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, let me go on. Okay, focus on people, employees, and customers first, and then numbers, revenue, and profits will come. And that's what we mean by 9.9. And at the lower end, 5.5. 5.5 to 9.9 is acceptable. 1.9, 1.1, or 9.1 are unacceptable. This one, and this one, let me just put my pointer on. So this one here, and this one here guarantee you failure. This one here will keep your business going day to day and probably break even. This one here will definitely make you successful. So putting employees and customers before revenue and profits means that your executives are always making decisions with their employees and customers in mind. 9.9. People, then task. Because if your people are right, the tasks will happen, profits will go up. They are doing what's best for the employees and ultimately for customers, so that in the end, the business benefits. Amazon doesn't want its warehouses all over the world, some 20,000 people who pack in their warehouses every day, to do it manually. That's why they have artificial intelligence and robots who pick the products, who collect the products from their massive warehouses and drop them in a basket. The basket travels through a computerized automated system all the way to the packer's desk. That packer quickly packs it in a perfect size box, puts a label on it, and puts it into the shipping line. So if Amazon wanted to make their employees' lives miserable, they'd make the employee walk all the way around the warehouse and look for the product and then pack it. But that's not what makes Amazon successful. What makes Amazon successful is they understand their employees. They understand what makes their employees' jobs easier. They give them the tools they need. They train them. They motivate them. They develop them. Therefore, automatically, sales go up, productivity goes up, customers are satisfied. Amazon only has to worry about its people first. All right, so out of all of this, when we're practicing leadership, if we practice autocratic style, which is more the kamikaze style here, okay, therefore our organization will eventually fail. If we practice free reign, which is basically our friends at, if we practice free reign, which is basically our people at the country club, do as you like, when you like, again, our organization will fail. Democratic leadership, where you understand your people and listen to your people, versus a communist leadership, will get you success. So remember, democratic style of leadership is the same as a people-centric style of leadership. All right, so let's go through this. Out of all of these, okay, H means high, R means relationship, L means low, T means task. If we look at the vertical quadrant, we're talking about relationship and behavior, okay? Relationship, behavior, and we're talking about the vertical across the bottom. We're talking about, the horizontal across the bottom. We're talking about task. So the vertical up is relationship. The horizontal across the bottom is task. Let's look at the one that is most successful. As we said before, it is the yellow one. High relationship. High relationship. As a result of the high relationship, your tasks or your productivity outcome and your profits are high. If we use the other styles, your chances of success are lower. For example, if you have low task, low relationship, you will fail. If you have high relationship, low task, basically that means that the relationship is incomplete, or the people that work for you don't understand you, therefore the task is low. So for a company to be successful like Amazon, it's here. And in order to have high task and high relationship, it goes back to the most important principle of any successful organization. Keep coaching, keep motivating, keep mentoring, keep developing your people. Every day, Amazon is training their people on how to use the technology and the robotics and how to improve the speed of the organization. Every day, Starbucks brings out new products and teaches its people how to make better coffees in its shops and restaurants. Ongoing guiding, ongoing coaching, ongoing communication and conversations between the organization and its people. That is people centricity. High task, high relationship. That's what we want. Okay, there's two important recipes that I'm going to teach you. Please write these down, because if you're able to use these two acronyms, which I developed about 40 years ago, and they have become world famous, then you'll understand what they mean. First, for people to be able to be successful, or for the organization to be successful, and for the organization to achieve high relationship, they must be able to assess the ability of every worker. They must ask themselves, have these workers been trained in the tasks that I want them to carry out? Does the worker understand and accept the task as being part of his or her job? Does the worker understand the task? And can they explain the task to me or to another worker? Do the workers that I have been able to do the task, and have they been successful or unsuccessful at the task? Because if they do it and have had successful experience in the task, that means productivity will go up. If they're unsuccessful, it means customer complaints, faulty products, profitability down, and profits down. So in order to have proper communication in a people-centric environment, as we said right at the beginning of today's lesson, remember we said, remember we said, understands that he must stay abreast with employees who create value for the company, continually invest in their development and works to align their interests with the organization. People-centric leaders understand the importance of having good managers who are also people-centric. Okay, where are we? So, if you can use the true rule for every employee in your company, then you will have high relationship, and a result of that, you will get high task, high productivity. Everybody write down true. If you need to, take a screenshot with your phone now and start practicing that at work. If your company or your manager doesn't do it, suggest that they start doing it. Because if they understand what true means, and if they are able to apply true to everybody in their team, and then they can coach and mentor the people in the team that don't have true, then all of the team will improve, productivity will improve, and they will become more people-centric. The other element they have to assess is the people's motivation. They need to look at their people every day and ask, is this person motivated? Are they willing to work for me today, or are they unhappy and feel like they don't want to be here? Are we paying these people enough or rewarding them for them to work and deliver the task without worrying about their bills? Is the company stable? Is the company under threat of going out of business or bankrupt? Because if that's the case, employees have a low sense of security and therefore their productivity will be low. Are our employees confident? Have I given them enough training and skills? Do they understand our goals? Do they feel confident? And how will they feel confident? It's only if you understand them, they understand you, and it's only if they have been successful. Remember, we said successful. If they haven't been successful, then their level of confidence will be low. So if you want to run an organization with high relationship, which will bring in high productivity, high task, then the first two rules you need to practice are true on every employee in the team and whisk on every employee in the team. Again, please take pictures of these two slides and use them at your job. These will help you. Okay, a people-centric leader always understands that he or she must stay abreast of the employees, the people who create the most value for the organization. A people-centric leader continually invests in the development and work of his people to align them with the company. People-centric leaders understand the importance of having good managers who are also people-centric. Look at Amazon, look at Alibaba. Not only does Joe Bezos understand centric people, people-centric leadership, but he also makes sure that all his managers at his warehouses all around the world are also centric. And that's why his 20 warehouses in 20 countries of the world all work together and are able to produce high results, because the relationship between the management and executive management and Bezos is very high relationship. Therefore, as a result of high relationship and them understanding the Bezos philosophy, the Amazon philosophy, their productivity is higher. And that goes for his managers and the people that work for him. And it's also between him and his suppliers. So remember, people-centric leaders get results through people who work for them, not through people who run away from them. The role of a people-centric leader is to maximize the performance, productivity, and results of their team. Remember, push leadership will push people right out the door. People-centric leadership will pull people in and make them want to work for you, just like the thousands of people at Amazon. Okay, let's ask if anybody has any questions about people-centric leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, if I was running a lecture on this and you're one of our students in our postgraduate diploma or diploma, this lecture would usually take 6 hours and you would go through case studies. So we can't do that today. BizTalk is here to give you ideas and inspire you, but it's not actually a lecture. So I hope I've given you enough tools and things to think about and confidence so you can use it. If you would like a copy of today's PowerPoint presentation, which is copyrighted, you can email me and I will send it to you directly by email. But please understand, you cannot share it with anyone. You cannot photocopy it or reproduce it. It's copyright. It's only so you can use what you've learned at work. My co-host, can you share my email address with everybody, please? eh.wally1@gmail.com. To all my BizTalk participants, today's session has only taken about an hour and a half, for which I apologize, simply because of my runny nose and I'm losing my voice. But however, we've still delivered the full content of people-centric leadership. So again, could my co-host put my email address in the chat box, please? My co-host, could you put my email address in the chat box, please? Okay, I'll do it myself. Thank you. Okay, everybody, my email address is Wally, WALLY, the number 1 @gmail.com. You can email me at any time. Please, in your email subject, put BizTalk, People-Centric Leadership, and your full name, and I would be happy to answer you. If you want a copy of today's presentation, just write, "Dear Wally, could I have a copy of today's presentation?" And I will reply to you within 3 to 5 working days. Okay, let's go around the room now and ask if anybody has any questions about today's session. Okay, let's start with some of the smiling faces and see if everybody understood today's session. Fredlin, did you understand today's session? Would you like to ask me any questions, Fredlin? Hello, Fredlin. Are you there, Fredlin? Unmute your microphone, young lady. No, okay. Josie Garcia, would you like to talk to me? Okay. Who else wants to talk to me? Harold, would you like to talk to me? Would you like to unmute your microphone, Harold? Unmute your microphone. Hi,
Yes,
Harold.
sir.
How can I help you today? Do you have any questions?
I'm very impressive to your excellent explanation, sir. I understand all your explanation.
You
That's
think
why I
that
have no question.
do you think that people-centric leadership will help you?
Yes, very, very useful to us, sir. No, because I'm currently working. No, that's
Right.
why I'm going to apply in my current job.
Do you think that this will
And
help you in your
also-
current job? Do you think you'll share these with people and try to get them to understand these principles?
Yeah, very helping for me, sir, because I'm eager to change my career.
Thank you
as
very much.
a employee.
Thank you very much.
You're
I'll talk
welcome,
to you
sir.
again soon. I'll see you at the next BizTalk. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Who else would like to talk to me? Christina Opog, do you have any questions, Christina? Would you like to unmute your microphone? Hi, Christina. Where are you from?
Hi, sir. I'm from Philippines.
Have you learned anything from today's session, Christina?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how do you think that people-centric leadership will help you?
Hello, sir.
How do you think people-centric leadership will help you?
It's help to manage the people.
Right. Okay. So are you going to take this away and start using it?
Yes, sir.
Good on you. Thank you, Christina. I'll see you at next week's session. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Nazgul, Keopia, Nazgul Kpova. Hello, Nazgul. I'm sorry about that. How are you today, ma'am?
How are you?
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Kyrgyzstan.
Wonderful. Tell me, has today's session on people-centric leadership helped you?
Oh, you know, today's our lesson, it was very useful for me, important for me, because I tried, you know, to compare. I worked before in a government, so
yes.
I tried, you know, to compare our today lessons with the real life in management, in leadership.
Absolutely.
So,
And you'll find with many governments around the world, a lot of government organizations don't know what people-centric leadership is, but it's inspiring when somebody tries to introduce it, and it depends on how hard or how high the mountain you have to climb. But in many private organizations, it's becoming a lot more important. Would you agree with me?
yeah, yes.
Fantastic. Would you like to ask me any questions? Is there anything I can do to answer any questions for you?
Yes, okay. So,
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, of
Do you
course.
have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say that I just want to back to my, to my speech.
Yes.
And I just want to say that, for example, we talked today about people-centric leadership.
Yes.
And when the company can be more successful, when the company cannot be successful, of course, I agree with all of them. And that's why I try to compare everything with, with the government structure, because,
yes.
For example, in a practice, we have a lot of tasks, no relationships,
Yes.
and we don't pay a lot of enough attention for people, for employees. And that's why, for me, it was a really useful information. And thank you so much.
That's great. Excellent. And please, what you said is real. And for everybody, if you work in a public service or a government organization, practice people-centric leadership is sometimes difficult. You might be able to do it within your own department or your own team, but getting it through the whole ministry, like the Ministry of Defense or the Ministry of Health, is very, very hard, because the mountain you have to climb is very deeply entrenched in bureaucracy. So that happens with all countries in the world. But I put it to you this way, if you go to a hospital, the nurses and the doctors in the hospital work through very much a people-centric leadership, because if they don't communicate and the doctors and the nurses don't understand each other, patients will die. You all understand that? Patients will die. And if you want to see a perfect example of people-centric leadership, look at the leadership between the doctors and the nurses in an operating room. If somebody is dying and they need to do open heart surgery, the way that the doctors, they're probably 3 or 4 surgeons, 2 anesthesiologists, 2 or 3 clinical nurses that hand them instruments. These people have to work through people-centric leadership. The nursing team have to understand exactly what the goals of the surgery are. They have to understand what they need to achieve, because if they don't do it, the patient will die. And the doctor also has to understand the skills of all the team. He has to understand that this nurse is very experienced while the other one is not so experienced, because if he gives the order to the wrong nurse and she doesn't know how to do it, the patient will die. Does everybody understand the need and the level of need? Do you understand that, everyone?
Yeah, understood everything.
Good. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you so much. Does anybody else want to talk to me? Anybody else want to talk to me or ask me any questions? Come on, guys, don't be shy. I'm here to help you learn. Don't be shy, please. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you. Okay, I've got some hands up. Let me just talk to them and then we'll go from there. Rochelle Disoy Ongong, would you like to open your microphone and talk to me? Hello, Rochelle, how can I help you?
Hi, good evening there in Singapore.
Yes, how can I help you?
I just want to ask some question about in a workplace which if the boss or the manager is very strict and demanding, so this is not would you what should you advise me to? Is this a kind of workplace is still advisable to continue to work or leave?
You know, Rochelle, that's a very difficult question, because if you need to make money and support your family, you need to work. If you want to try to encourage to change the management style, I assume you work for a kamikaze manager who's only focused with task, not relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
All right. So you can either accept that and slowly try to change it, or you can just do the job and at the meantime look for a better job. And I think that might be your best option. You need to look for a better job. But for the love of God, don't give up your job till you find another job. And you know, Disoy, the only time this or Rochelle, the only time this company will remember you is once you walk away, because companies who operate kamikaze have a very high turnover. And at the end of the day, they end up losing more money because all their experienced staff run away. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So all I can do is motivate you to find a job somewhere else. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
you
so much
so
for
much.
joining me today, ma'am. It's my pleasure. Edward Makunji. Hello, Edward. Do you want to unmute your microphone, Edward? Hi, Edward. How are you today, mate? I can't hear you, Edward. Your microphone is not working, mate. I can see your lips move, but I don't hear anything from your mouth. Are you there, Edward? I'm sorry, Edward. Your microphone's not working. I'll come back to you. Okay, next, please. Can I speak to ITEL A56? ITEL A56, would you like to speak to me? Are you there, ITEL? Again, are you there, Mr. ITEL? How can I help you, sir? Okay, thank you. Okay, can I speak to Deng Diani? Hello, Deng. Do you want to speak to me? Unmute your microphone, Mr. Deng Diani. Hi, Deng.
Yes,
How can I
sir.
help you today? Have you enjoyed today's
Yeah.
lesson, Deng?
Yes, I'm enjoying this lesson today. I'm happy for the lesson you are teaching for us. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. Go ahead. How can I help you?
Yeah. I would like you, sir, to give me the written topic you are now using. So later on, I need to this one.
Absolutely. Listen, I've just given you my email address. Send me an email and I'd be happy to send you a copy of the PowerPoint. No problem. All right. Do you have my email address?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
All right. So send me an email, Deng. Just put your name, mention BizTalk, People-Centric Leadership, and just tell me what you need and what you want to use it for. I'd be happy to give it to you. And I'll also give you my WhatsApp number in my email. If you'd like to ask for any questions before you try to teach it, I would be happy to help you. That's my job. It'd be my pleasure to see you use it. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is what I'm looking for.
I'm sorry, Deng.
Thank you so much. This is what I'm looking for. I was looking for this written topic.
I can't hear what you're
Hello?
looking for. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for this written topic, the written words you are now using.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can't understand what you're saying. Can you just explain it slowly, Deng, or type it in the message box? Can you send me a message in the chat box so I can answer you? Just type your question and I'll answer it.
Okay, I have both your WhatsApp number and email. I will contact you through that.
Thank you. I would be
email.
happy to help you, Deng. I'll answer your email straight away. All right, mate?
Okay, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, sir. See you at BizTalk again soon. Would anybody else like to ask me a question? Anybody else? Thank you. Maria Rosemary Paradis. Welcome to BizTalk, ma'am. How can I help you? Thank you for joining me.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I just want to ask because I'm planning to build a kindergarten school.
Sorry, what are you planning?
Hello, sir. You hear me?
Yeah, what are you planning? Go ahead.
I'm planning to build a kindergarten school.
Yes, go ahead. Okay, kindergarten, understand.
Yes, and I just want to ask because I'm a Filipina, and I just want to ask if being a leader, if I build this kindergarten, or is it practical to get a staff from the same country or other other nationalities.
Maria, with all disrespect, when we talk about leadership, we don't talk about nationality. Leadership and understanding people means you being able to work with all the people in the organization, regardless of race, religion, or color. That's the first element of people-centric management. If we start dominating management or leadership style by the nationality of people we work with, then we will never have people-centric leadership. If I may give you some examples, please. If I take you to a country like the United Arab Emirates in Dubai, and if you work for some of the companies there, the fact that you're a Filipina, you get treated with less respect than a local girl or an Australian. And that's why a lot of people that work in Dubai end up running away and changing companies after 1 or 2 years. Because in Dubai, people-centric management with local companies or people-centric leadership is very much limited to race, religion, or color, all right? Because they look down at people from different races or religions, and same as Saudi Arabia. So the minute you bring nationality, race, or religion into the aspect or the scientific practice of management, you're basically saying goodbye to people centricity. Do you understand what I mean by that, Maria?
All right. Yes.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. So what you should do, Maria, is forget about where the people come from. Ignore their nationality. When you try to imply people-centric leadership, apply it in general to all the people. In actual fact, the fact that you're applying it to people with a Filipino background like you, they will respect you more because you're trying to help them. You're from their country. But if you try to cut them out or ignore them, it will work against you because they will say, we're Filipinos too. You think you're better than us. And their level of productivity will go down. And then you will have a higher turnover rate, lower retention. And then you'll be complaining to me, Mr. Wally, all my staff are walking away. So there is a downfall to every side of the story. You understand where I'm coming from, Maria?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Maria, I do offer you my email address. Have you got my email address?
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it.
If you would like to send me an example, Maria, of the people you're working with, for example, nationality and the positions that report to you, I would be happy to give you some advice and maybe, if you want, send you a copy of the PowerPoint. And then if you have any other questions, you can come back to me. But just remember, everyone, when we're practicing people-centric leadership, people-centric, the word people-centric focuses on people and working with people. It focuses on the human element, the human being element, the human emotional element in people. So the minute you start bringing race, color, or religion, you are no longer people-centric. You have gone away and you've automatically failed. You're then a manager and people will run. Okay? You'll push them away. If you push, they run. However, if you're people-centric, you pull, they will follow. Do you understand the difference, Maria?
Yes, sir.
I hope I've helped you. Thank you for joining me at BizTalk today, Maria.
Yeah,
It's my pleasure. Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure.
Question. I will send you an email because I have. That's why I enrolled this course,
Yes.
business and management, because I want to learn more about, and I will
Well,
send
you know,
an email. So
you're welcome to join us for our diploma or postgraduate diploma. If you're welcome to join as many BizTalks as you like. We try to run a different topic every week. If there's a topic that you think of that would help you, drop me an email. And if it's something that we have expertise in, I will certainly put it on the BizTalk agenda for next week or the week after. There's no issue. All right.
all right. Thank you, sir.
I have a question here. Albino, can I text you later to assist? Albino, you can email me at my email address anytime later today, and I would be happy to answer you as quickly as possible. You'll probably get my answer later today or tomorrow, but you're welcome to email me anytime today, Albino. But please, I run numerous sessions. I will always try to get back to you within 3 to 5 working days. But I'll look out for your email and I'll try to get back to you sooner. My email is in the chat box. Could my co-host, could you share my email once again to everybody, please, Govind? Thank you, Govind. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would anybody else like to ask any more questions about people-centric leadership? Okay, so let me summarize. People-centric leadership is a fundamental element of survival in today's business world. If you don't have people-centric leadership, then the consequences are that you will have low retention rate, high turnover rate. And if you have a low retention rate and a high turnover rate, your cost of operation will go up, because to recruit new people, you may need recruitment agencies or manpower agents, which will cost you a recruitment fee. To recruit new people and train them will take you time and money, and it will affect your productivity. So, ladies and gentlemen, people-centric leadership is critical to any organization in today's business. How can we relate true analysis and SWOT analysis in reference to push and pull? Well, it's very simple. If you do not use true and WISC in analyzing every member of your staff, you will not practice people-centric leadership. So only if you apply true and WISC when understanding and communicating with every individual in your organization are you people-centric. It's only through people-centric leadership that you pull. If you don't practice true and WISC, then you are not practicing people-centric leadership. You are practicing traditional management, kamikaze management, and the answer will be you push. And as a result of push, people will run, your retention rate will go down, your turnover rate will go up, your need to employ new people will cost you money, you will lose productivity in training time, and you'll reduce profitability. I hope that answers your question. All right, what's this? In countries, a very useful lecture, in countries where people ethically biased, people tend to be disenchanted due to tribalism or ethnic bigotry at times. People are discriminated against due to religion bias. Well, yeah, I understand that, and I won't mention the name here, but it's something that you need to learn to overcome, because if you're a people-centric leader, you need to stay away from religious bigotry or tribal bigotry, because those people will eventually become the push managers of the old century, and they will eventually end up suffering because companies' profitability and productivity will go down. You may be able to help them by talking to your boss about this if this affects you, and talk about the benefits of people-centric management. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? Sir, what are the main causes for high attrition rate in an organization? Well, Yupendra, the high attrition rate is basically the lack of people centricity. There's two reasons that generate high attrition, or turnover as we call it. Attrition means where you lose people or you turn over people. The highest attrition and turnover rate comes with a management style which is push. What do we go by push? That means when the manager is a kamikaze manager, very high task, very low, if no, people skills. And that's where you go to high attrition. Most companies that have high attrition have no centricity. They're basically kamikaze, okay? And I can prove that to you based on evidence. And if you want to email me with examples, I can give you specific statistics you can use with your boss. But rest assured, any company that follows traditional management where the manager is tasked and there is no people, no relationship, kamikaze will always, if task is 9, relationship is under 7, 9, 7, 9, 8 possible. But if task is 9 and relationship drops below the 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, those organizations will eventually fail or die. The corporate lifespan of that organization will need either a rejuvenation or they'll go out of business, because those organizations will constantly suffer high attrition and high turnover, because people will only stay with the organization for as long as they're motivated. The minute they lose motivation, they will run away. You follow what I'm trying to say, Upendra? Thank you. All right. Hello, Wally. I would like to ask, I didn't see that, sorry. Hello, Wally. I would like to ask, if I finish diploma in business and sales management, can I go to postgraduate diploma? Yes, you can, ma'am. As soon as you yes, you can, Clyde, sorry. As soon as you graduate with the diploma and you've passed all the subjects, you can register for postgraduate. Absolutely. All right. Is there any other questions today? Any other questions? I'd love to hear them. Ladies and gentlemen, from me, Wally Rauda, an Australian academic with 38 plus years of experience. I have been of service to multinational companies all over the world. I have been executive vice president, senior vice president, junior vice president in areas of human resources, strategic management, business continuity management, strategic marketing, sales, and I've even been responsible for business development. Ladies and gentlemen, the examples and the case studies I share with you are based on years of experience in teaching leadership to companies. They're based on years of experience of seeing companies fail because of poor leadership skills. I have been a motivator to some of the world's largest companies in motivating their management on proper styles of leadership. And as I said, if you're studying with us in a diploma or postgraduate diploma, especially in the postgraduate diploma, we go into a lot more detail about leadership, but I can't do that in BizTalk because it's supposed to be just a brief eye-opener to you. But what I've done today is I've covered all the basic elements that will help you start thinking. I haven't gone into the boring theory that we go through during a postgraduate diploma. We go through the theory and the case study reading for you to better understand, because it's part of your exam. BizTalk has no exam. So basically, it's an open discussion. I've left you with some very basic principles like push and pull. And I've left you with two formulas which will never fail to deliver people centricity: true and whisk. They are my recipe to success in people-centric management. Please use true and whisk. Okay? If you don't value that, then you haven't learned anything. Does anybody else have any more questions for me today?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Maria.
Sir, I just want to clarify, because my question is not about discrimination, because my country is ethically biased, and
But you know, hold on, Maria. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your country. It matters about your leadership style. Forget about your country.
Yeah, I asked the question because it's very expensive to hire staff from my country going to Europe. That's why I asked that question.
All right. So what part of Europe are you in? What part of Europe are you in?
Cyprus. I'm going to
All right, well, let me tell you, Maria, if I was running a kindergarten in Cyprus, okay, even though it would be better for me to have Filipino teachers because they're more friendly with students and they have a higher level of service centricity in them, and they're more passionate. I'm not sure of the labor laws in Cyprus, but I do understand that if you can justify that you want to bring one or two teachers from the Philippines to Cyprus, you should have no problem, providing you can document to the government the reason why, because they have higher capabilities of maintaining and training Cyprus teachers to reach the standards of the kindergarten. That would open your doors. If you need any help doing that, you can email me and I'll give you some pointers on that. But what I'm trying to say in general, that people-centric leadership should ignore race, color, or religion. Now, if you're saying that due to local laws, you can't bring in that nationality, I can help and guide you. And then the next element you need help with is how to be able to recruit the right talent in Cyprus. And I can help you with that as well. If you drop me an email, I'd be happy to guide you. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, I've got another question here. It's so interesting to listen to your lesson. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Nazgul. Please join me again in future BizTalks. It would be my pleasure to see you. I have here, hopefully I can watch once again the session on YouTube. to get deeply insight related to people-centric leadership. Fully appreciated, Mr. Wally. It's my absolute pleasure, Mr. Muhammad Nasir Taha. My co-host, Mr. Goldman, will post the video on YouTube by midday tomorrow, by 12 noon tomorrow. My co-host, Mr. Govan, will put the video on YouTube. So if you want to go to our website or our YouTube channel, the Apex Stories, tomorrow after 12 noon, you should find our video. You're welcome to watch it. I encourage you to watch it and download it. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to ask any questions? Visit our company's website. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host has put our company's YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and Instagram page. Visit us at YouTube on the Apex Stories. Visit us at Facebook and on Instagram. And if I've been able to help you, ladies and gentlemen, please give me the thumbs up. Please join us as students, whether it's for our diploma or postgraduate diploma. If you think you've learned something from me here, you're going to learn a lot more from me and my colleagues with our diploma or postgraduate diploma. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to open eyes. I'm here to share experience. It's been my pleasure having you here today. Thank you for joining me on BizTalk. I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday between 5 and 7, or on Monday night, every Monday night between 8 and 10 p.m. I thank you all for joining me here today. God bless you all. I'll see you again in the very close near future. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining BizTalk. I love you all.